Good day, everyone. I am representative for Smokeless Chimney. At Smokeless Chimney, we want everyone to have a warm home and clean air. We phrase it as warm home and clean air for everyone. This slide is simply to show you that I've got a significant amount of experience, approximately 38 years in fire testing, qualified as a fire expert in fire investigation, in fire testing. I've measured smoke and fire, I've done product design, and I have a company called Smokeless Chimney. At Smokeless Chimney, we have a patent for measuring smoke out of wood stoves and controlling the wood stove based on the same. We want people to burn clean, and part of that is the fuel they burn. This video is on the types of fuel and how they compare. The problem with wood stoves in our current society in 2020 is that the environment, the weather people are measuring PM 2.5 levels that are higher than average in the winter time. And PM 2.5 are particulate matter that's 2.5 microns, and they believe that wood stoves are the primary contributor to that PM 2.5 number. I believe that if wood stoves are burning correctly, that they do not put out an abundant amount of PM 2.5. In Washington State, we have emission opacity limits of 20%. And I have a device that can measure opacity of wood stove chimneys. When you consider that there's 14 million wood stoves operating in the USA, you start to get a picture or an idea of the size of the problem. This video is on the types of fuel you can burn in your wood stove and how they compare and how the price compares. We'll divide it up into cordwood as round and split, 2-inch minus, which are scraps of wood from the shop, Kindle Bundles, and your sawdust varieties of Presto logs and pellets. Cordwood. If you have land and you have trees growing on your land, and you harvest the trees on your land and process the trees on your land, it is still not free. It is at a significantly reduced cost, but you can't say it's free. That may be the lowest cost fuel that you can get. I don't have that where I live. I have to either obtain my wood from a fallen tree in the neighborhood, or I have to buy it. And I use my purchase price as my representative cost. It still takes planning, storage, prep work, tools, and fuel. It's a long process to get your wood ready for the next season. Round versus split. Some wood will fit in the wood stove nice if it's round. Other wood has to be split before it'll fit in the wood stove. The rounds tend to burn longer, releasing less heat over a given period of time. The split stuff tends to dry quicker. It also tends to release heat at a higher heat release rate in a shorter period of time. 2-inch minus is any scrap piece of wood that you might get from your shop, a mill end, small pieces of plywood. These are generally used as kindling, but they can provide a significant amount of heat in the wood stove. But think of it as any structural wood that's cut up. To do the pricing for this video, I simply calculated buying a $2.38 8-foot 2x4 from Home Depot and cutting it up as wood and put it in the data set that way. That's not what I do. However, for the data, it seemed to work. I was at Home Depot recently and bought 2 Kindle Bundles. I really like these. It was 15 pounds per bundle, around $5.50 for a bundle. It said it was 0.65 cubic feet. I measured it at 15 pounds. I put my moisture meter into several pieces and the moisture meter read 0. I would say that the moisture meter is not correct. It's below what the moisture meter can read. I would also say this is very dry material. Presto logs, energy logs. I'm not sure what they're called in other places. We call them Presto logs, but these are sawdust extruded, compressed and extruded out dye. Dye is the shape of the. They're approximately 4 inches in diameter, from 10 to 11 inches long, and they weigh right at 5.5 to 5 pounds. They burn clean and hot. They're very dense. They take up very little space. I really like these. This one has a saw kerf or a kerf on the side to get it to ignite a little better on that side. Sawdust bricks. I like these as well. They're rectangular, they don't roll. It's hard to break these into small parts like it is the Presto logs. You can break them into small sections. Each one of these is 3.3 pounds. They come in a 6-pack. I like these when I can get them. They burn hot, they burn for a long time, they get the rest of the wood in the wood stove burning nicely. Pellets. Pellets are a commodity fuel. In our area you can get them as low as $4 a pound and as high as $5.50 per bag, 40-pound bag. They are very dry. You should keep them out of the rain, but they come in a bag and they stay very dry. They also have low ash content. They burn quickly due to the high surface area. High surface area to mass ratio. I'll use a scoop and put these in with the other material. It's great to lay down as a bed for starter material. If I'm putting in one piece of wood, I'll put in 2 scoops of pellets, one on either side. They burn for 30 minutes or so, and then the wood in the middle burns quite well after that. Here is the data set, and it was surprising to me. You have your cordwood over here. I used the figures of $180 for a cord at 2,000 pounds for the cord, and that comes up to 9 cents a pound. 2-inch minus was calculated with a 8-foot 2x4 at 9 pounds from Home Depot. Kiln dried. If you just chop that up and burn those, you're going to pay 26 cents a pound. Next, and the most expensive variety, but I thought it had unique qualities, was the kindling bundle. This is extremely dry material. It's good starter material. Gets the fire going hot so you can burn the cordwood later. 38 cents a pound, so the most expensive fuel in the study. Presto logs, 18 cents a pound. 99 cents for 5 pounds. Everywhere I went I could buy a Presto log for 99 cents a piece. They store in a small area. You do have to keep them dry. They burn for a long time. If I put one in at night, sometimes I have coals in the morning, and I like that. The little bricks, 3.3 pounds at 17 cents a pound. They're slightly less expensive than the Presto logs. They come in a 20-pound block, and they're pretty easy to carry around. Pellets at $5.19. These are 13 cents a pound. So they are almost as low cost as the cordwood. With this data, I don't mind grabbing one piece of cordwood and one Presto log. I know that pound for pound, they're very close in price. So to me, this was surprising information, and I'm glad I have it now. I'm not so selective on which piece of fuel I grab. I just know that I grab one of each, put it in the stove, and I have a good fire going. One of my methods is to use a dry box. This is a dry box. It was made for a 3D printer. However, my boys will put the split wood in there. This is a 200-watt heater. This is a 200-watt heater. And the box in the garage, cold garage, is running around 91 degrees Fahrenheit. It removes the surface moisture and preheats the wood so that when it goes into the wood stove, it's ready to burn. I found this to be a good resource when you get wet wood. It's raining outside, so all the wood has high surface moisture. Also, in January and February here in Western Washington, our humidity is 90%, and our wood picks up quite a bit of surface moisture just sitting outside. This tends to bake that off and it'll burn faster. I thank you for watching.